for you personally, what is more likely to bring you happiness? Success in the workplace or a loving family?
Loving family.
Loving family, okay.
That's my family.
Why is that?
Oh, because you can get a job anywhere, like
money,
family.
Job, you have a job for money. Money don't make you happy.
Yeah,
Love makes
whereas
you
a
happy.
family will make you happy.
Love's everything, isn't it?
Yep, okay, cool.
One quality that I really respect and admire in men is ambition. When I do Skype consultations with guys, especially young guys who are filled with enthusiasm and energy and a determination to put in however much effort it takes to achieve their goals, I'm always impressed. But I also talk to a lot of old guys who have burned out. They used to be these young guys full of energy and enthusiasm, but now they've just worked themselves to death. They always imagined that once they have achieved their goals that they would be happy, and so they worked and worked and worked. And when they finally achieved the success that they put in all of those hours, all of those years for, and happiness is absent, they think that something is wrong with them. Something must be broken inside. That's why they're not happy. And they sink into a deep depression. It's a really tragic story because these guys deserve happiness. They worked hard for it. They showed determination. They showed character, but they made the fundamental mistake of believing that happiness was as simple to solve as a maths equation. Men are often like that. We're too logical in our approach, too black and white. We think that our emotions can be managed and bargained with as though this is some kind of business deal or formula. Hard work equals success. Success equals happiness. Therefore, if I want happiness, I must put in hard work. Isn't it simple? It's not that simple, and lots of men are discovering this. They work hard, they achieve their goals, and they're still not happy. Something's gone wrong. I'm going to read for you a quote from Viktor Frankl. He was an Austrian psychologist who was trapped in the Nazi concentration camps, and he survived largely based on his theory of logotherapy, which puts meaning at the center of man's life. The meaning is what creates happiness. I'm going to read this quote. Don't aim at success. The more you aim at it and make it a target, the more you're going to miss it. For success, like happiness, cannot be pursued, it must ensue. And it only does so as the unintended side effect of one's personal dedication to a cause greater than oneself, or as a byproduct of one's surrender to a person other than oneself. Happiness must happen, and the same holds for success. You have to let it happen by not caring about it. There is tremendous wisdom in what he's saying, and to summarize it in my own words, happiness is not something that you can put off for the future, thinking that once you've achieved success, happiness is magically going to arise out of it. It doesn't work that way. Happiness is an emotion that is only experienced now, and even in the future, it's still going to be now. So if you want to be happy, now is where you need to be putting your attention. There are a lot of reasons why delayed gratification is a really good idea. In fact, it's one of the earliest indicators of intelligence from children, whether they can delay gratification. They can forsake a small reward now in exchange for a bigger reward later. But the concept of delayed gratification does not work in the extremes. You can't delay gratification forever because then gratification never comes. But the extreme approach is what I'm seeing more and more in my consultations. I'm talking to these young guys who are willing to put in a crazy amount of work, endless hours, endless weeks, grinding and hustling because they believe that they're working towards some golden future where they can finally be happy. Now, I'm not saying that these guys are not going to achieve success. Most of them probably will. They're amazing guys. But my concern is that they're not going to be able to enjoy that success once they get there. After all, how can you enjoy success when you've had no practice at it? Because here's the thing, being happy is not that easy. Relaxing is not easy. Enjoying yourself is not easy. Fun, laughter, joy, happiness, fulfillment. These are emotional states that take practice. They're skills that you need to develop. They're muscles that need to be exercised. Most people, and perhaps you're one of them, actually finds it easier to work towards happiness than to actually experience happiness. If I take an average man off the street and I tell him that he has to spend the day enjoying himself, not with distractions, not with addictions, but to genuinely enjoy himself, most men would find that task very hard. I tell him, I want you to spend the day feeling the emotions of happiness and fulfillment. Most guys couldn't do it. But if I tell that same man that I want him to spend the day working hard, really whipping himself, putting himself to the absolute limits of what he can endure and create in terms of his work output, he'll do that if he believes that in the future, he's working towards emotional states of happiness and fulfillment. It sounds bizarre, but this is the reality of things. Lots of men find it easier to work hard than to actually relax. So what's the goal here? If we can't just work ourselves to death, believing that happiness is going to come at some undefined point in the future, then how are we meant to live? Are we meant to just become monks and go and live in a cave somewhere? That's not what I'm recommending. That's just as extreme. Your ambition is a good thing. Your drive is a good thing. All of your hard work and effort, these are good things. I'm not trying to talk you out of that. But you need to make sure that there is some balance in your life. Make sure that you're enjoying your life right now. Keep working towards that amazing future, but enjoy the process of getting there as well. If you ask men who have become really successful in their fields, maybe they were tech entrepreneurs or really successful businessmen, you ask them what was the most enjoyable part of that process? Was it at the end when you sold it for millions and millions of dollars? And a lot of them will say no. The most satisfying part, where they felt happiest and most fulfilled, was the early stages of the project, working hard and building something. You see, it's not just about the destination. It's also about the road that you take to get there. If you want to be a big financial success, that's absolutely fine, but learn to enjoy the process of learning the skills necessary to make that happen. Be happy as you develop your business skills. If you want to marry some high quality woman in the future, that's wonderful, that's fantastic, but you should also enjoy where you are now, dating, flirting, learning about women, learning about game. But what about self-improvement? Every day you're working towards a better and better version of yourself. Are you going to deny yourself happiness until you've reached some far off perfection goal? No, you should be taking enjoyment and happiness from the process. Every new skill you develop, every new insight you have should fill you with happiness. There is no point in waiting until perfection before you're happy, because perfection never comes. In a sense, success never really comes, because no matter how much success you have, most men are always going to want to achieve a little more. It is so sad to think about the guys who work really, really hard, thinking that their reward is going to come in the future, that happiness will be theirs at some point in the future, and it never comes. So if you're unhappy right now, you're not satisfied with your life, please don't take the easy way out. Don't rationalize away your unhappiness in the moment, saying, well, I'll achieve some happiness in the future. I just need to work hard now for that reward that will come eventually. That's easy. That's just pushing the problem away, saying, I'll solve it later. Unhappiness is not a future problem. Unhappiness is a now problem. Now you might object, saying, Alexander, this doesn't make any sense. My life sucks. Why would I be happy when my life sucks? Surely it makes sense to reserve happiness to some future time when my life is better. I say no, because better is a relative term, especially when it comes to happiness, and the goalposts are always going to keep shifting. You'll keep on delaying happiness because you'll tell yourself, well, my life can always be better, and that's true, and that's why it's so dangerous, and that's why happiness has to be sorted out now. And I'm not saying that your life doesn't suck. I don't know your life. Maybe it does. Maybe everybody around you is just a terrible person, and you yourself, you're not a very high quality person. But it doesn't matter where you are. You can start taking the right steps today. Immediately, right now, you can start making improvements. And that is where happiness should come from. Not in the achievement of some goal, but in the process of achieving that goal. You'll always be on a journey to some destination. So learn to find happiness in that journey. If you're able to train your brain into being happy while you're in the process of making improvements, then happiness is going to be your constant companion. There's always going to be ups and downs, failures and successes. It's not realistic to expect you to be winning all of the time. Lots of things are just not going to be inside your control, but your choice to take the right step as opposed to the wrong step, to improve things rather than to be satisfied with how they are, that is in your control. So claim that. Make that a permanent fixture of your personality and make it the source of your happiness and satisfaction. That is how you take control of your own happiness. If you are constantly surrounded by men, all of your friends are men, all of your workplace colleagues are men, all of the people in your university, of course, are men, how are you meant to meet women? This is the topic of my latest video. And in this video, I explain why men in all male environments burn out and how women can be used to reinvigorate your energy. I also outline strategies on how to break your routine to create a more dynamic social life where you've got female friends, a girlfriend, so that you can be equally successful in your social life and your professional life. For anyone out there who feels like they're constantly surrounded by men and they don't know how to attract women in their life, this is the video for you. Right now, for every video that I post on YouTube, I post an additional bonus video on my Patreon. That means that at the moment, you're only seeing half of my total content. If you'd like to see the other half, including this video, please go over to my Patreon and sign up. It's just $5 a month and you get instant access to all of my exclusive content. It's a wonderful way to support the channel and I really hope to see you over there.